Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome back to the channel today, guys, as coming up for you, what we have is some Barça news and also some really intriguing discussion as well, because we are going to be talking about a really up-and-coming, outstanding young player in Pablo Torre, the youngster who's set to join Barça this summer. We're going to be talking about him and exactly what our plan is going to be for the 19-year-old. And we are also going to be discussing the long-term future of Sergio Busquets and exactly how we could end up seeing a reunion between Busquets, Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, as we are going to be discussing that in some detail, and I'm really intrigued to know what your thoughts are going to be on that. It is all coming your way, so let's do it. Come on. But if we start by talking about a young man who really could shine in the years to come in the colours of Barcelona, because I want to talk now about Pablo Torre, the signing that was confirmed back in March there that he would be joining us this summer. It's a fixed fee of €5 million there coming in from Racing Santander, and depending on certain variables and conditions, that fee there could rise to above €20 million, and that is a very, very similar kind of deal for the one that we did for Pedri, who came in, of course, from Las Palmas. Pablo Torre will sign a contract until 2026, and I can't wait to see him this summer, because this season for Racing he has been nothing short of absolutely sensational. He has been there, the driving force behind taking that team from the third tier of Spanish football into the Segunda, and at just 19 years old, I think he's led them. I think at times he really has taken on responsibility, and he has played some absolutely incredible football. 31 appearances this season for him. He has 10 goals and 10 assists. And for a player who's only recently turned 19 years old in a senior side, and to hit double figures in both goals and assists for a midfielder, let's not forget, that is impressive. And I am very excited about this young man. Of course, you don't want to speak too soon, you don't want to pile too much pressure on him, but he has clearly got a lot of talent, a lot of potential, and it's about us now nurturing that and getting the best out of him. And another thing I would say as well about Pablo Torre is, especially this season, we've had a lot of trouble from free kicks. We have failed to score from one directly. It has not been a good area for us. We've wasted so many of them. And I think there's a genuine argument that he could actually come in this summer and straight away be Barca's best free kick taker, which is something we really need. However, when it does come to that plan, and when it does come to the integration of Pablo Torre to the club and indeed into the first team in time, the idea right now would be that Pablo Torre, at least initially, will still join up with Barcelona B. That is still where he's expected to play his football at the beginning of next season, because I think right now from within the club, there's a real feeling that they don't want to rush him. They don't want to push him in too quickly, rush that development, and I think they're very, very keen to avoid the kind of situation that we saw develop with Yusuf Demir, whereby it was too much too soon, and in the end it did not work out for us. But the interesting thing, I think, looking ahead to the summer, is that Pablo Torre will come in, and he is expected right now though to do pre-season with Xavi's Barcelona team in the first team. I think that's going to be a fantastic opportunity for him. We're going to see exactly what he's all about. He's going to have some minutes under his belt to shine, and you know, who knows, we don't know what could happen in pre-season. We all saw the way that Pedri came in, and straight away he felt at home, he felt comfortable in the first team. He was never phased for a single second. Of course, we can't expect every young talent to be that way, but Pablo Torre, very excited to see him this summer, and very excited to see what he can do in these years to come. But from one player who is hoping to be a great at Barcelona, what I want to come on to now is players who've already achieved that status, players who have already achieved more than we could have ever imagined in their careers. Because I want to start by talking about Sergio Busquets. This morning it was reported by Fabrizio Romano that Busquets already has turned down offers from MLS clubs ahead of this summer because he's not quite ready to make that next step in his career just yet. The feeling is right now from Busquets is that he still believes that he can play at the top level. He's still a big part, of course, of Xavi's plans at Barca. And I think from Barca's perspective too, I wouldn't say right now we're anywhere near replacing him yet. I still think that we have a lot to do to really find a like-for-like replacement for Busquets. It's going to be a very, very difficult player for us to replace, and we should already be thinking about that. We should already have some sort of plan in place that we have to be working on. But right now, Busquets is expected to stay at Barca and in Xavi's plans ahead ahead of next season, but it is interesting because come 2023, which also is the time there that Busquets' current deal at Barca expires, then I think there's a real possibility that he does move on and that he does indeed go stateside to MLS. He said that in Europe he would never play for another team. I think he's definitely open to the possibility of playing in America with David Beckham's Inter Miami, reportedly one of the clubs who are very, very interested should he want to make the move. And I think this is where it gets very, very fascinating indeed, and where this might all be part of a bigger plan, and certainly something that's going on in the background over these years to come, because you just wonder now, looking at Lionel Messi, he was in Barcelona yesterday, he was actually with Sergio Busquets, he continues to return to the city at every available opportunity, and he actually had lunch there with Sergio at a restaurant that was owned by Suarez in Barcelona. Those two are never ever too far away from each other, but that just got me thinking about Messi's plans. We know right now that Messi is going to stay at PSG for next season. He has a contract there also until 2023, but then after that, we don't know what that next step is going to be. We don't know exactly what is in the mind of Lionel Messi right now. I think undoubtedly a lot of it will depend on how he does next season for PSG in terms of the team they're going to build, in terms of how much of a part of that he is going to be. I would probably be a bit surprised, to be honest, if he extended his time there beyond 2023. So the question is, when that comes to an end, what then? Is that return to Barcelona ever going to happen in a playing capacity? We know that his heart is there. We know that City will always mean so much to him and the club, and that he may work for us in some kind of technical director role in the future. But as a player, will that return happen? And if it wasn't going to, what then would be Messi's next move? But I think what we do know, and I think what he has made no secret in the past, is that he also would be open to playing in America. I think that's a lifestyle that he certainly would enjoy. We've often seen himself and his family there over the past going on holidays. He spent a lot of time in Miami. I know that he really enjoys it there. And you just get thinking there about Busquets possibly going, Messi possibly going, the timeline of all this. And then you've even got Luis Suarez, who looks set to leave Atletico Madrid this summer at the end of his current contract. And whilst he may not quite make the move to MLS this summer, with the World Cup just around the corner, he may stay in Europe for a little bit longer, but I think after that then, again, it's a real possibility. And I think for all three of them, for all three of these Barca legends, players who also happen to be very close with each other, I think their families as well, their wives get on very, very well indeed, which is always an important thing. And I think it's very, very interesting. Obviously, we don't know the timescale. We don't know whether it'll be in 2023. Maybe it'll be a little bit beyond that as well. It all depends on how each of them feel and when they feel it's right to sort of make that move on, when they don't feel motivated or ready to do it at the top level anymore. But I think there is a real chance that at some point in the future, we do see a bit of a reunion. It could be at one specific MLS club. And I just wondered today, guys, just thinking about that out loud, what would you think about that? How would you feel about all of these players, Busquets, Suarez, Lionel Messi, reuniting together, seeing them all back as one, but it not being at Barca? How would that make you feel there, seeing maybe that happen in MLS in years to come? Obviously, personally, from me, from a nostalgic point of view, I would actually love to see them all together again, even if it wasn't at Barca. I think it would still be nice to see those personal relationships, to see them, of course, out on the field again. Suarez and Messi combining is always going to be a nice thing indeed, and I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on and bear in mind in the long-term future. And I do want to know what you think. So indeed, guys, just something there a little bit different in today's video. We've spoken about the future in terms of a young prospect coming through, Pablo Torre, the excitement there, and the promising signs that he has been showing ahead of his move this summer. And we have also discussed players who've been there. They've done all of that. They've cemented their status in Barcelona history, and now we're wondering whether we ever may see them together again and what their plans are. Do let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I will, of course, see you soon. There will be more videos coming ahead of a big week again for Barcelona. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.